Hello art world, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over a drawing I did of Mickey and a standard process, ink wash, light ink wash, outline, and Copics. But I wanted to talk about some other things today. I wanted to talk about inspiration and motivation and stepping outside of your comfort zone. So if you're going to become an artist and you plan on taking this seriously, there's a lot of things you need to factor in. It's not an easy thing to become an artist and to continue to become an artist. I feel like a lot of people are artists at heart. Typically people draw when they're younger, and then they, slowly over time they lose touch with it, and other things become more important, like job, friendships, money, other things, children, having kids, things like that. And these are all very important things, and you can continue to draw throughout your life, no matter what you go through. I don't like the excuse that, it's I stopped drawing because of other reasons. I think people lose interest and stop drawing because that's who they are. They're not truly artists. They don't believe that they are artists, and they don't want to pursue it because they're not artists. So if you are an artist and you can't shake it, and it keeps coming back to you, your art is always there, and it's something you can't escape in a way, I feel like you'll know if you're an artist. You can't stop drawing. It's just something I can't stop doing, and not in an addictive fashion, but it's more so the right path. You feel it, you know it in your heart, and you have an ability, and you pursue it. So yeah, I wanted to talk about staying motivated. It's something, there's going to be days where you draw and you are just sick of your artwork, and you don't want to really draw. You love drawing, but it's maybe you feel that day it's not working out. I had one of those days the other day, and I just want to tell people that you get through it. There is a way. If you just keep drawing, you keep going, you will get through those days that are very monotonous. Same thing with a job, same thing with other aspects of your life. There's going to be days, no matter what you're doing, where everything is harder that day. It's monotonous that day. You notice that it doesn't, you don't need to be pursuing this path, and it's just hard. It's harder on some days to get through it. So I must have done about filled 10 pages worth of sketches that I just threw out throughout the day. I was sick of everything I was drawing. I was like not satisfied with anything that I had drawn that day. But I was working on another piece that's up and coming. I'm working on it now. I'm filming it now, of a Wolverine, and I just couldn't figure out a good stance. I didn't know how to draw him. I was running into a lot of dead ends. I didn't like the sketches I was doing. It just wasn't a great day overall for some reason. And I notice that I have these every once in a while where everything's just harder. Everything is just more difficult. But if you continue and you keep going, you will find a way through that. It's not the end of the world. You gotta just hang in there sometimes, and beautiful things present themselves. So long story short, after a long day of struggling and having trouble with this drawing, and I ended up nailing it, and I feel I ended up nailing my design, and I loved it. I loved the way it looked, and I'll be showing you guys that soon in the next video. And I just am having a lot of fun with it all of a sudden. But it took all day of trying. It literally took the entire day, where I was trying, and it wasn't working out. And then suddenly I found an angle that I liked. I liked the way he was standing. I liked the pose. I captured it very quickly, and it's so weird because all day long, like I said, I was pretty much struggling trying. I couldn't draw. It felt like what am I doing? I have no control over my drawing. I'm not. You know, I felt like I was a kid again. Like I'm drawing and it's just not good. It just didn't look good. My drawings didn't look good at all, and it really is demotivating when you run into days like that. But just hang in there, and you know, you get through it as an artist, and it ends up working out. So that's all I wanted to say about that. And now I'll go over a couple things with this drawing. So I'm using N0 on the hat, pants, face, and gloves. His body is N4, the neutral 4. N2 is the dark areas of the face, pants, suspenders, buttons, gloves, and I think, yeah, another a good technique that I found throughout doing this drawing, and throughout this process of making videos and doing more drawings with Copics, when you leave blank space, like if you have an object and then another object behind it or in front of it, a good way to delineate if they are the same color, the same Copic color, a good way to delineate the shapes and to show depth is to leave a little white highlight line. So just don't color in a very thin line between the two objects, and that creates depth. It automatically creates that depth between the two objects. I find that is very valuable, and slowly becoming more and more a go-to for me as I'm working on these Copics, which Copics is a fairly newer thing. Hey, there was Wolverine real quick. It just passed in front of the screen. But this is definitely a tool that I will be using, and is slowly becoming a major part of my my toolkit, so to speak, as far as being able to use these Copics more in depth. And I'm learning all on my own here. I'm not watching videos and learning about other people's techniques. This is literally all homegrown knowledge. I'm learning as I draw with you guys. So that's what I wanted my channel to be about. I didn't want it to be biased or influenced. I want to be literally learning things and only telling you guys the best techniques that I notice as I'm drawing, and only what looks best, because sometimes I've heard of techniques that just I have a lot of trouble with and I struggle with, and I don't want that for you guys, for my viewers. I want my viewers to have a streamlined viewpoint and in-depth access point to my technique, as it's, you know, visually right in front of you. So if it looks good to you, use it. If it doesn't, you know, you don't have to use it. And I'll be giving more technique in the future. So I'll provide another technique. If you don't like this one, use another one. But I leave that thin line now also on the body to show a little bit of depth, to provide a little bit of shape rather than just blocking his whole body in. I kind of wanted to show his pecs and his belly, the delineation between the two. And so I left those lines, and then I also went over top of that with one layer of that N4, and that kind of blends everything. That adds it blends the bright white, delineation line between the two objects. It blends them together so that they look more unified and more as one part of his body, essentially. So that is another technique that's part of this drawing that I figured out through the process of this drawing, was leave those delineation lines, but put a layer, because layering is very important with these Copics. I'm finding that you can do a lot with layering with these. So using that technique of just cooling down that highlight, I find that very valuable. If you guys have any ideas or techniques of your own, please leave them in the comments below. Or if you'd like me to cover any specific topics, please let me know, and I'll cover that. A couple music notes at the end here just to make things fun. And we're at the end of the video, so make sure you check me out, Smartful Creations, on Instagram, and I'm on YouTube here, obviously. And please like and subscribe if you can. Thanks again. Have a good day.